in a beautiful city. And I send you greetings from my newly adopted city of Nelson, where our little gatherings are gathering in momentum. Yes, a few weeks ago it was just me standing at the cathedral steps, but what's happening now is more and more people are coming out. And if you look around here today, just look around. People are slowing down, people are engaging. And last week in Nelson, we probably had about 30 or 40 people like yourselves. Not bad for a little town of. But what we did have is we had a whole lot of cars slowing down. People winding down their windows, listening. People standing across the road, not coming into this little precinct, but watching from a distance, listening. Now, folks, the reason that's happening is because you are here doing this, and people are waking up. So I want to just encourage you, keep on coming, keep networking here. The government agenda wants to keep us isolated and separated. I don't know why we're getting so much fallback. I'll move over here. Okay. The government wants to keep you separated from each other. They want to isolate you in your homes, and ultimately they want to be able to pinpoint where you are at whatever time. And I'm sure most of you will not have the COVID tracing app on your phones. No. But look, there's plenty of other stuff buried on your phones that you don't know about. If they want to find you, they'll find you. I had the police ring me one day, the week of Black Lives Matter, and they knew who I was and what I was doing on Saturday on the cathedral steps, and they rang to warn me. And I thought, that's very interesting. How do you know I'm even there? Oh, we know these things, we monitor Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, my point is, keep on doing what you're doing, because people are waking up. And my little speech today, or what I wanted to address on, is not actually to you people. I don't imagine there's too many Labour Green voters standing in front of me here today. There might be a few. If you are, well, my speech is for you. I would actually like to challenge you, people in New Zealand, Labour voters, Green voters, NZ First voters, all 5 or 6 of you that are left. I would like to encourage you people to be thinking about what is happening in this nation. I would also like to challenge the national voters. I've been a national voter most of my life. Most of you know I'm probably in my late 30s. I'm actually 30-27. So I went 38, 39, 30, 10, 30, 11. So I'm 30-27 this year. Anyway, I voted national most of my life, but basically about 15 years ago I started giving up on them, and I wouldn't go back there again. And this last little game we've seen played out with Todd Muller and then Judith Collins just confirms to me that national today is nothing more than paid opposition. So for people, it is not a vote of national versus Labour. It is not a vote or even a discussion about left versus right. Today is a discussion about different things. It's talking about the system. The system in New Zealand and in most Western governments of the world, the system is broken. And I'm being very polite when I use that word. The system is utterly stuffed. We have to change the system. So how can we change the system? Well, we need to reevaluate who these people are that are leading us and being called our leaders and what they stand for. We need to look at these people in close detail. Most of them are career politicians. They haven't worked like you and I have, or they haven't lived on the street like John has. They probably don't know any of these people, the 2,000 names on his ute, because they sit in beautiful buildings, air-conditioned, being paid their salaries of 150, 180,000, up to Jacinda at 500-something thousand, plus 30% superannuation. Whoa! Did you hear that? 30%. What do you guys get? 3%. KiwiSaver. They get 30%. And of course they usually go on, most of them go into politics, they take a massive jump in salary from what they were doing before. I was selling fish and chips in a fish and chip shop and I head into politics, my income probably goes up by about 10 times plus super. And of course when I come out of politics, I come out with many, many perks, especially if I've done 2 terms. And typically, if you're a Labour Greens government, you're heading into a position in the United Nations or some advisory capacity in some role where you're basically going to be spoon-fed and paid a huge income for the rest of your life. So that is the system, folks. Do we like the system? No! What we have to do is change the system. Now, here's my little prediction. Now, I'm not 100% sure of this, but here's my prediction for you. And this, I hope, will encourage you. I believe that the moving on of the election and the pushing out of the election was actually not Jacinda's decision. People above her are making, above her pay grade, if you can believe there are many people in New Zealand above her pay grade, but people above her pay grade have made that decision. And I think we could be looking at a new system. And I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it. And this is what my plan is. We're going to have a new system. We're going to have a new constitution. Well, we're going to have a constitution, a real one. We're going to have the people back in power, and we're going to push government, in whatever form it's going to take in the future, back into the box, and the government will become again our civil servants. Civil servants. Now, a number of years ago, I had a number of businesses in Queen Street, Auckland, and a few buildings there, and we're running quite a few successful businesses. One of the businesses was doing some recruitment, or what we called head hunting in those days, going around finding high-level people, giving them a tap on the shoulder and saying, "Oi, you want to come and have a look at this CEO job or chairman of the board," that sort of thing. So in anticipation for that, I have been thinking about this new thing and the new president. And after very, very careful mathematical analysis, I've taken the IQs of all sitting politicians. I took them down, I added them up, I got my calculator out, and I added up the politicians, and I thought, well, the next president of New Zealand needs to have an IQ that's equal to or greater than the sum of all the politicians in the beehive. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been extensively travelling around New Zealand to find this candidate. And I'm thrilled to be able to tell you today I have found the perfect person. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Doug the Duck. Now Doug here is going to make his pledge to you. He's not going to stand for any of this quackery. So under Doug the Duck, there will be no quackery. There will be no false lying. A suicide is a suicide. A person jumping off a cliff and falling a few hundred feet into the sea is not an accidental drowning. Doug the Duck will call that a suicide, unlike this government. So Doug the Duck stands for truth, and I'm really inspired by Doug, and I am honoured to stand alongside Doug the Duck. Doug the Duck stands for you, the people, and I stand with him. And I invite you to come and stand with Doug the Duck as he takes the presidency of New Zealand off these people that say they are our leaders. They are not. They are our rulers. Let's take New Zealand back. Keep on keeping on, folks. Come to these gatherings on Saturday, Sunday. Meet in groups during the week. Talk to your friends. Get online. Some of you that haven't spoken before, I want to say I've been coming down here probably a couple of months now, and every time I come back, the calibre of people speaking improves, the numbers improve, and the truth is getting out there. So I want to encourage you, keep on doing this. Have a go at getting online. Do a little speech. Find somebody like Doug in your own community that you can help do the speak with you. Because I don't know much, but Doug knows lots, and he tells me lots. So I just become his mouthpiece, you know? But anyway, thank you for being here today. I want to encourage you and thank you. Keep on keeping on, folks. Don't stand for quackery, and let's change New Zealand. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. It's fantastic. You know, Mark getting out there in Nelson by himself consistently, it's a real inspiration to lots of people, you know, so I've got to thank him for that. That's fantastic. Hey, if anybody else out there wants to have a